And welcome back. So Jacob Bergman asked the question. Now this is an interesting question. Who would win in a fight? Po from Kung Fu Panda versus Ben 10. Now you would initially say Ben 10 obviously wins the fight because he has all these aliens. But there are specific circumstances to this fight. Bergman did not ask or asked to not give Po his what's it called? The Wuxi finger hole, which can basically take someone to the spirit dimension. And Ben's been limited to 4 different aliens: Lodestar, Wrath, Cannibal, and Diamond Head. So, I believe it was Diamond Head. Yeah, Diamond Head. So, let's go over Po real quick first. Po is a panda at 6'2", 260 pounds. He is a master of the panda style of Kung Fu. Panda style is is a style of his own creation. With it is notable for Po throughout. Basically, Panda style is the newest of the 12 Kung Fu styles. It was invented and mastered by Po himself. They make their opponents tired with a strong belly defense. Then they attack with surprise moves that appear to almost be an accident. Basically, it's kind of a variant of drunken kung fu to some degree. You're basically using your body to take the blows, tire your opponent out, and then use surprising attacks that wouldn't seem like attacks. Po is naturally strong as a panda. He's also pretty durable, able to survive a blow from a cannon while using only a walk for defense, and generally come out okay. Though at one point he took a hit from one of the biggest cannons of Shen's army, the Crane, voiced by Gary Goldman, in the second one. And he was mildly injured and went to a comatose state for a little bit. He is extremely agile for a panda as well. He does know some actual moves of combat. Some actual legitimate martial arts moves, like the finger hold, which we're not giving him, but also knows how to use chi, which enables him to do things like enhance the ability to grow with life, enhance your physical powers, things along those lines. And he's also an improvised fighter. He knows how to fight using pretty much everything around him. So, Po is a generally good-natured individual. He can be intimidated by individuals if they aren't backing down to him. He can get over his head. He tends to be a little forward in his thinking and, quick to jump in. Very rarely does he think things through unless, the plot allows him to. So he can be a little brash sometimes. However, he's still a very good person. He's the hero of the Kung Fu Panda series, and he's a formidable warrior. He is the Dragon Warrior and a Chi Warrior as well, a Spirit Warrior. So with Ben, obviously Ben, in this case we have to use 16-year-old Ben because that's the Ben that has access to there is technically Omniverse Ben and all that, but we're going to use the 16-year-old Ben from what was it, Ultimate Alien, when we got Wrath and those characters? I think it was Ultimate Alien, not Alien Force. Yeah, it was Ultimate Alien. Because Alien Force, he had his core new 10, and then Ultimate Alien is where he had, is where he was able to get new aliens added on to there. So, with these 4, let's go into them. Diamond Head is I believe, a crystal sapien. He's from a planet that's basically composed of crystals. It was destroyed, but it got brought back. We don't need to really talk about it. We don't really need to go into that. But he's a sentient being made of crystals, basically. Physically speaking, he can go toe-to-toe with individuals who can break mountains. He's highly durable, but vulnerable to things like sonic shocks and sound waves. So, his body can crack under the pressure of those. He's also capable of, creating crystals, throwing crystals, summoning crystals from the ground. So he's highly adept in that. Wrath is the most combat-orientated of them. He's not very bright. He's very much like a wrestler. He's like, let me tell you something about Wrath here, boy. And it's like, Wrath doesn't take this. Wrath will take you down. Wrath is, I believe, an axoplexian, I think they called. Essentially, he's kind of a tiger-cat creature. He's an anthropomorphic cat individual with 2 claws on his back of his palms, or in front of his wrists, that can elongate and be used for combat as well. Durability and strength-wise, they are some of the toughest individuals in the galaxy, though. Able to go toe-to-toe with monsters. Let's say my hand is Wrath. Able to go toe-to-toe with monsters the size of me without breaking a sweat and not taking damage. They can survive the vacuum of space for a certain amount of time. They can take massive explosions without issue. Cannonball is essentially a giant it kind of looks like a tick a little bit, but he's this, or a shellfish of some kind. He's this bipedal creature who is very bulky and cumbersome. And his main ability, he's not very agile when walking around, but he basically rolls up into his ball and can just gain momentum and cause mass destruction all around. He can just keep going and barrel into individuals unless someone can stop him or bat him away. And then the last one we're going over is Lodestar, who I don't even know the name of his species or what he's called. Essentially, he's a magnet. He's a living madman. He's got a head that floats between these two, like, horns or crests on his head. He's got, like, these prongs for hands. He's durable enough to take some hits, but he can be damaged, but reform himself from damage. Basically, he can magnetize. I believe he can magnetize non-magnetic objects, too, now that I think about it. But basically, cause a repulsion and rejection Lodestar. Now, Lodestar, Ben 10. There we go. Ben 10. So, Lodestar is what is known as a Biosavortian? Okay. Anyway, he's able to project magnetic fields that are capable of overloading electrical circuits and contract magnetic materials to himself. He can also emit a magnetic pulse that allows him to magnetize any ferromagnetic metals, iron, nickel, cobalt, gallium, causing objects to be magnetized and attract everything magnetic to fly and collide with the target. As such, he has telekinetic control over metal, allowing him to levitate and things and move things. He can generate a green magnetic force field that protects him from most ballistic attacks. He can regenerate if he's been destroyed, pulling his shattered pieces together. He can levitate and fly. He has enhanced strength as well. Lodestar, I always liked Lodestar's design and capability. He's a cool kind of alien. So those are the 4 aliens Ben is given. Now, to be a little fair, we're going to allow him to be able to go. We're not going to allow him to go willy-nilly through every one of them as we want. But we know at least Alien Force, or later verse, was it later in Alien Force, or was it I think it was Ultimate Alien. He could go between certain alien forms while the Omnitrix's time was running out. So we'll allow him to go through each of those forms at least once. So he'll start with one form, can go through any of the other 2 forms, and end on another form. And for what it's worth, we're going to start at the end. So we're going to go Diamond Head, start with Diamond Head, and then, because that was a go-to alien for Ben for a while. So Ben, through some dimensional finagling, which has happened in the Ben 10 universe before, winds up in the Kung Fu Panda world where there's anthropomorphic animals, things along those lines. He's like he's weirded out, and he's just wondering, he's like, look, I'm not looking for any trouble. It's like, oh my god, what is he? It's like, it's like, all right, fine. It's like, look, I'm not looking for any trouble. Maybe he's actually, he's transformed. He's already as Diamond Head in that form. So that would make the most sense why Poe would also be the one who initiates the fight. It makes sense. So Poe, is like, I don't know who you are or what you're doing here, Diamond Boy, but I'm the sheriff in this town. It makes sense he'd say that. They modernize a little bit and say, look, I don't want your trouble. But say, well, you got it, yeah! And then he just hits Diamond Head, who does. I think he get hit with enough because he's a master of chi now too. He's not using the finger pull hold, but he's a master of chi now, so he can enhance his strength. And say, how do you think about that? Ow! It's like, all right, buddy. If you want to play rough, we can play rough. Sorry, I just wanted to get that over the other way. Want to play rough? We can play rough. And then he he throws some dimes like, cha-cha-cha-cha! It's like, oh, and he just grabs Scribble, back at you, choo, and just tink. Yeah, all right. And then, he charges, basically collides into Poe, who normally would be able to take a lot of hits and be fine, and his Panda style would be able to, take the hit without much issue. But because Diamond Head is Diamond and punching into him, just boom, that's hurting Poe. That's hurting Poe. Still feels pain like that. It's just his gut can normally take a lot of hits. So even taking a hit to the gut from a diamond encrusted fist or fist made of diamond would still hurt. So, ooh, all right, skadoosh. Then he comes in and just boom, bams into Diamond Head. He's like, oh, all right, buddy, let's see how you like this. And then transforms, immediately turns into Cannonbolt, just booms and boom, it just smashes into him again. So now they're kind of just throwing their weight around a bit, just boom, boom, boom. It's like, and then he comes in again, but using chi and his actual skill, he actually grabs his Cannonbolt and actually just boom, blasts him back. It's just boom. Just, oh. So I was like, okay. So let's try something else here. And then goes into Lodestar. And then at this point, he does the whole Kung Fu pan, uses some pots and pans. And, it's and then just, nope, back at you. And then magnetizes him to Poe, makes Poe magnetic. So I was like, I don't know what your shape-shifting capabilities are, buddy, but you're no match for me. And then he just tries to throw the pans back. And just, boom, stop it! And he uses his chi to kind of just repel them off. And then just blasts his, like a chi enhanced fist, but he uses that magnetic field, which I don't think would really be affected by chi much, just because science and we don't know how chi, it's spiritual and all that, so the magnetic qualities of it would be kind of they would collide and maybe they just wear off and then Lodestar just it's like, now you know not to mess with the Dragon Warrior. Good luck in the spirit world. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's like, what? And it's like, let me tell you something, Mr. Panda Bear. No one does not the wrath. No one. And then throws Poe. Stop. It's like, all right, fine. Skittish. That's the best you got. Poof. It's like, let's see you try. They just punches Poe right in the gut. See, one-on-one with the first three, Diamond Head, I think, would give him the biggest problem with durability. But I think enhancing himself with chi would definitely aid in it. Cannonball, actually, he'd probably have the easiest time with, just because it's just a matter of power over power, and he'd be able to just stop with chi, I'm guessing. And he's actually probably a more skilled warrior, at least than Cannonbolt in that form. Lodestar would give some tricky technical problems, but I think he'd either overpower him or just get a lucky shot. And Wrath is the big problem here, because durability and strength-wise, there's no way. Let me get Wrath up here real quick to confirm what I believe and how powerful Wrath actually is. Wrath. Ben 10. Wrath can take far more than what Poe can dish out, is the ultimate problem here. All right. Oh, there we go. So, yeah, he's around, he's about a 9-foot tiger. Let's see here. Demonstrates enhanced strength, is able to punch through a solid wall with ease, has retractable claws, extremely acrobatic fire demonstrator, always fighting. That's in the original version. We're not looking, or that's in the new version. I don't need the new version. I need the classic version of Wrath. There we go. There we go. That's Wrath. There's the Wrath we all know and love here. Personality. Pez powers him. Hand jump enable him jump great distance, lift objects. Possesses a large retractable back claw on each wrist. Is extreme durable, can take point blank lasers with no apparent effect, and survive free fall from several hundred feet with only a bit of dizziness. He can release a sonic roar basically as a defensive tactic. Even though he's not one of Ben's smartest aliens, he can perform fighting moves with expert execution, as seen when he's used wrestling moves before. Yeah, physicality-wise, the strength, Wrath is well beyond anything physically that Poe has actually. Like, the closest individual who could match that physicality would be Kai, I think, and even then, Poe couldn't physically defeat Kai because Kai was a spirit warrior. Ultimately, I have to give it to Ben, because once he goes into Wrath, Once he goes and turns into Wrath, there's nothing physically that Poe can do to stop him. And so, unfortunately, it's at that point that Poe's going to probably get his ass knocked out at one point. It's like, there you have it! That's what you get when you go into Wrath? Oh, Ben. He's like, oh, what? What'd you just do, man? It's like, oh, sorry about that. You attacked me first. And then they'd patch things up, and maybe Ben would help him fight a bad guy or something like that. So, ultimately, yes, I think Ben would win. Now, if we'd given Ben his complete roster in any incarnation of Ben, there's no doubt Ben would have won. To be fair, though, against 3 of his forms, Poe would stand a solid shot, I think. Diamond Head would be the hardest one for him to go against of the other 3. I think he would, frankly, long-term fight, I think Diamond Head would actually outlast him, just in durability-wise and endurance. But in terms of, say, Cannibal, I think Poe would actually beat Cannibal, and I think he could beat Lodestar. But ultimately, I got to go Ben in this. I do have to go Ben. It was still kind of an obvious option, that choice that Ben would win, but I don't think it'd be anywhere near as clear-cut of a fight as it would be made out to be. So ultimately, I think Ben wins. Here's the other thing, too. In no scenario that I pointed out did Poe knock... he knocked out Ben, Poe win the fight. But all Ben's alien forms that you gave me the option to use here have enough durability that he couldn't knock him out. Not with his level, not with his abilities. He couldn't knock out Diamond Head, just because Diamond Head's far more durable than something he could knock out. Cannibal, if you were to hit him maybe dead on, sure, but Cannibal's got enough defense that he'd be able to prevent that. And Lodestar can just regenerate. And Wrath, it takes a lot to knock out Wrath, unless you're like using hypnosis, because Wrath is an idiot. That's the one thing. Wrath is a dumbass. But yeah, ultimately, that's where I got to go. I'm going to go... I guess the question is, when it gets to Wrath, is there any way that Poe can win without taking him to the spirit world? I don't think so. I really don't think so. So I have to go Ben 100% of the time on this. Now, if you were to give me a different roster of aliens, it might have been different. But those are the roster of aliens you gave me. And I want to preface it to be saying, I think in just using any version of Ben 10 ultimately, well, giving him his full roster of aliens but an older Ben wins. Young and experienced Ben from the original series probably would actually lose because he's just a kid. And he can only go one alien at a time until he got the master combination down. But any older version of Ben would beat Poe in a heartbeat. But when you give me a certain roster of aliens to use, it changes it up a bit. And that did change it up. Poe actually stood a good chance of winning until Ben turned into Wrath. And it's like, nah, you don't have nothing that can take Wrath out, so sorry. But anyway, that's my thoughts on it. I got to go 100% of the time. So let me know, though, what you think. Remember, though, I had to use a certain roster of aliens because that was what was requested. Otherwise, it would have been a different match. But let me know what you think. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want a review sign, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for would win, Star Wars, Superior Magic, what if, anything I do on the channel, put that in the comments below as well. I'll get to that at some point. This will be up tomorrow. It's technically Sunday, so yeah. Got to upload a few videos, and the Super Bowl is starting in about 37 minutes, so going to have that on in the background, waiting for trailers and TV spots. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.